Come outside.
Get away from my car right now. Call the police.
A doorbell cam caught a shooting that went down Monday night in Louisville's Phoenix Hill neighborhood. One guy got hit and was taken to the hospital, but thankfully he survived. It happened around 8:30 p.m. near South Clay and East Jefferson. The video shows 4 people walking up to a house, then taking off less than 20 seconds later.
Why is it y'all got to keep each other? What is the point? What are you proving?
You can spot what looks like a weapon going off, and if you listen close, you can hear a baby crying in the background.
We used to fist fight, get beat up, or knock somebody out, and then we come back again. But this has just gone too far.
2 neighbors, Dorothy and Brian, are really worried, especially since there are a lot of kids in the area. So far, no one's been arrested, which sadly isn't surprising.
I don't know who the victim was, who the people are. I just know prayer is the best policy.
The kids are around here and they get off the bus, they stay around the area playing with balls and with the dog.
Louisville police say there have already been 47 non-fatal shootings just in the first 2 months of the year and only 8 arrests. In this clip, the camera catches a guy walking past the house, but then he comes running back a moment later because a dog started chasing him and barking non-stop. Guess he wasn't expecting that kind of welcome. A couple in Homestead had just returned home when a sudden burst of noise erupted nearby, and their Ring camera captured everything. It was a drive-by incident that left a 17-year-old in critical condition. You can hear the sounds in the video, followed by panic as the couple quickly ran inside their house across the street. Neighbors said the people in the car didn't even rush off. They calmly drove away, turning south just a block from where it happened, near Maury Drive and 199th Avenue. The teen was seriously injured near the head and had to be airlifted to Jackson South Trauma Center. As of the last update, he's still fighting for his life. There's a young guy wandering around near Bluegill Bay who seems impaired and was trying to get into a house. Over 1 in 6 emergency calls involve someone under the influence and disoriented in public. It's more common than people realize. A woman in East Memphis had a really scary moment when she checked her Ring camera early Sunday morning and saw someone pointing a weapon straight at it. The guy was apparently trying to steal her car and even threatened to end her life if she came outside. This all went down near White Station Road and Juniper Avenue.
Come outside. Kid.
These kids need to be in school or in jail, and probably in jail. You know, there's got to be a consequence.
Unfortunately, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. In this case, the suspect made threats through the camera, but luckily, the woman managed to scare him off. She set off her car alarm, and that seemed to do the trick. She's feeling a mix of fear, shock, and frustration.
I was scared. I did not open the door. I don't understand why kids are out at 1:30 in the morning doing this all over the city. They should be in bed in their house.
She said the suspects looked young and should either be in school or, if they're out doing stuff like this, should face some serious consequences. She chose not to show her face or name because the guy still hasn't been arrested, but she still wanted to speak out in hopes it might help someone else.
I don't want it to happen to anybody else, and I don't want anybody on my property.
Somebody that's actually lost a car right around here, but you know, windows have been broken further down the street, and one night that little side street Juniper had, I think, 2 or 3 broken. On that video, that barrel up against that Ring camera, you know, it was just like looking right down the barrel. And, you know, I couldn't have felt bad if something had happened to them.
If you recognize anything about the person in the video, their clothes, how they move, or even their voice, police are asking people to come forward and help ID the suspect. Police are trying to find a guy who was caught on a doorbell camera trying to break into a home in southern Indiana. It happened around 4 a.m. on Garrettstown Lane near Slate Run Road. The video shows a shirtless man walking up to the front door, pointing a weapon at the doorbell cam, and then trying to open the door. A family was inside at the time. After failing to get in, he just walked off. He had visible tattoos and a cast on his right arm. Anyone who can identify him is urged to contact the police. Elizabeth was at work when she got a ring notification letting her know a stranger was in her driveway, checking under her car. Worried about her vehicle and her family's safety, she quickly used the two-way talk feature to scare the person off.
Get away from my car right now. Call the police. He was trying to steal our converter. Just now. Yeah. Someone's trying to steal our converter off our car. Isn't that crazy?
She then called the police, hoping they'd catch the guy. There's an $8,000 reward being offered to help identify the suspects involved in a fatal shooting at a shopping center in northeast Baltimore. It happened just before 8 p.m. when a gray Honda Civic pulled into the parking lot and 4 suspects got out and started shooting. One of them even followed a victim into a store and fired at them again, hitting several people. Demetrius Savante Johnson and Devonta Power lost their lives, and a woman was also hit, but thankfully, her injuries weren't life-threatening. A woman was caught on camera looking for something. She even went to a neighbor's house and came back with something in her hand. She might have been genuinely looking for something she dropped, but walking up to a neighbor's place like that, kinda bold. In Jacksonville, Florida, when a porch pirate couldn't find any packages to steal, he got a little creative and ended up swiping a light bulb instead. But as soon as the homeowner startled him, he just casually walked off and headed to the next house.
Hello?
By now, it seems like everything on your porch is up for grabs. At 2:42 in the morning, this guy showed up at the front of the house and attempted to get the door open. Thankfully, the door was locked, and he didn't get in. This guy was faking being a DoorDash driver. The homeowner had just gotten a delivery, and shortly after, this guy showed up saying he didn't get paid and asked if they had any cash. Check it out.
Come on, I didn't get paid. Come on.
What's that?
I didn't get paid.
I don't know what to tell you, brother. I paid.
I didn't get paid.
I paid, brother. You're going to have to call DoorDash, brother.
I didn't get paid.
All right, I'm going to call DoorDash for you. That's what DoorDash support's for. I paid, brother, so I don't know what to tell you.
What's a number that I can call you
I
on?
wouldn't have got the order if I didn't pay.
Alright, so what's the number that I can call on to make sure I got paid?
Call DoorDash.
Your
How
number.
did you get paid?
Can I call your number?
You can't call my number. I
What do you
ordered the
mean?
food, brother. What are you talking about?
I didn't get it.
Oh, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's DoorDash's problem.
You don't have any money on you?
What do you mean I don't have any money on you? I paid. All right, yeah, I got to go, brother. Call DoorDash. Dude, I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy. All right.
Always double check before handing over money. Scammers are getting bolder. This guy didn't even think twice, just strolled right up and tried the door. No knock, no explanation, and no business being there. Always lock your doors. You never know who might be checking. A black car drove by, and the guy inside spotted a package on the doorstep. He stopped, grabbed the package, and then sped off. Imagine finally getting your package notification, only to watch someone else drive off with it. A delivery guy got caught on camera doing more than his job. Instead of just dropping off a package, he stole one from a house and then grabbed another from the neighbor's place. It's hard enough trusting strangers with your packages. Now even delivery drivers are getting caught stealing. That's messed up. A porch thief was caught on a doorbell camera sneaking up to a home and swiping a package right off the front porch. He didn't even seem to hesitate as he grabbed the package and quickly walked away. It's a reminder to stay extra vigilant and make sure your deliveries are secure to avoid these sneaky package snatchers. A DoorDash driver shows up to deliver food to a neighbor, but then spots a package sitting unattended. Looks like he was looking for a little extra tip, just not the legal kind. This package thief was caught stealing the goods right off someone's porch. In seconds, the package vanished, but the camera caught everything. An intruder on a bike was caught on camera going through car doors early in the morning, likely looking for something to steal. This happened before dawn, and he didn't seem to be in a hurry, carefully checking each door. In the dead of night, this woman swiped a delivery off the porch, not knowing the doorbell camera caught it all. Guess she didn't count on being caught on camera. Hope she learns her lesson soon. A porch thief was caught on camera going from house to house, looking for packages to steal.
We can't answer the door right now, but if you'd like to leave a message, you can do it now.
Make sure you stay alert and keep your deliveries safe. Max was just chilling on his bed, venting to his fans about all the stuff going on in his life. He mentioned these constant headaches he's been getting, which he thinks are from the weird paranormal stuff happening around his house. Then he started talking about this creepy noise he heard downstairs, right after someone rang the doorbell on a rainy night. So, of course, Max decides to go check it out, even though it sounded straight up terrifying. But when he got to the door, it wasn't what you'd expect. Instead of seeing a person or anything normal, he spotted what he thought was a ghost, not even at the front door, but tapping at the backyard door. Let's see what happened next.
Woken up by a loud bang downstairs, and the doorbell rings. Like, it just rang probably like 5 minutes. I went down there, checked the doors, and nobody's at the front door. I mean, seriously, whoever this is, I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. Arrow text, I'll stand out here until somebody shows back up. I don't care, I'll stand here and watch it. Ooh, okay, that's enough. Forget that. Holy. Okay, oh my gosh, not this again. Not this again. Oh my God. Leave. Stop! You gotta go! Shh. Calm down. What are you? Stop! Charlie, come on. I don't even know how to explain what I'm seeing. Holy hell. No, this is crazy. Did you hear this last night? Oh, yeah. It was going last night. Now, did you... Charlie, come here.
Was it really a ghost or something worse? Either way, it's not done with him yet. A woman named Kikyo shared that ever since she and her husband moved into a new house in a different neighborhood, they've been dealing with a string of unsettling experiences. Before moving out, the previous owners supposedly warned them about the place and even left behind a few odd items, like holy water, hinting that they may have dealt with something unusual in the house themselves.
Desde que nos mudamos aquí a la casa empezaron a suceder cosas rarísimas, sin embargo, nunca había sentido nada en la casa. La cuestión es que cuando nos mudamos de casa, los ex vecinos, los ex personas que estuvieron rentando aquí nos dijeron que pues que esta casa según tenía algo porque todas las parejas casadas se terminaban separando.
One late night, as Kikyo and her husband were getting home, she noticed their neighbor's car door was wide open, but no one was around. Worried that something might be wrong, they walked over to check it out. That's when things started to get weird. What happened next was anything but normal. Watch and see for yourself.
Oigan amigos, estoy bien preocupada porque no sé qué le pasó a mi vecina, güey.
After finding the car empty, Kikyo and her husband stood there for a moment, unsure if they should get involved. After a quick back and forth, they decided it was best to knock on the neighbor's door and let them know about the open car.
Uy, la mierda. Uy, la mierda. Uy, tiene una pinche mierda ahí. Tiene como, se ve como una cabeza, te lo juro. ¿La señora, no? No se ve. que no sabía espantar. Soy yo, su vecina de al lado.
Oh my God.
Sí, su carro tiene toda la puerta abierta.
¿Quién?
¿Okay?
El que viene a robar acá todo el tiempo.
Yeah.
La batería.
As Kikyo taps on the neighbor's window, she's shocked to be met with a creepy face staring right back at her. She doesn't think this figure is the elderly woman who lives there, even though the clothes look exactly the same. Why would the old woman hide like that? But when the neighbor finally steps outside, she doesn't seem at all concerned about the open car door. Ever since Kikyo had that encounter, strange things at her own home have only gotten worse.
Se escuchan también pisadas en el techo, güey. También.
The next evening, while streaming live for her audience, Kikyo stays awake as her family sleeps soundly beside her. That's when the real terror starts. She begins hearing a series of creepy sounds echoing through the house, including muffled music and constant knocks on her bedroom door. But the most chilling moment happens when she hears one of her kids' voices calling out, even though both of her children are fast asleep beside her. Trying to keep her cool, Kikyo quietly endures the strange happenings, hoping not to alarm her family. Things take a darker turn when the lights in the room start flickering on and off by themselves, and the knocking on the door grows louder. Kikyo believes these unsettling events are connected to her encounter with the neighbor the night before, specifically seeing that creepy face through the window and then speaking with the woman. As of now, the situation remains unresolved, leaving everyone to wonder what might happen next. A nurse named Valenti works at a hospital where he and many of his co-workers regularly witness strange and unexplained things. From doors opening on their own to shadowy figures spotted just out of view, the night shift staff often report creepy experiences, especially when they're alone in quiet areas of the building. The footage you're about to see was sent to Valenti by a female security guard who was working an overnight shift alone. During one of her usual patrols, she saw something so disturbing that she immediately took out her phone to start recording. A loud knock suddenly hits one of the glass doors, but when the guard moves closer to check it out, there's no one in sight. A few moments later, just as she turns her back, the banging starts again, louder and more intense than before. Yet once again, there's no sign of anyone on the other side. Some believe these eerie events are linked to the many lives lost within the hospital over the years. But what do you think? Is there a logical reason behind all this? Or could something truly unexplained be wandering the halls at night? On October 30th, 2024, Adventure Outdoors dropped a Halloween special about what was supposed to be a chill overnight stay in a 19th century Scottish bothy. Hikers Martin and the channel's creator were all set for a cozy retreat with whiskey, stories, and a storm raging outside. But this bothy had a sketchy reputation. Locals talked about hearing screams at night, and one guest who freaked out so badly after seeing something at the window, he literally soiled himself. The skeptics showed up laughing, but they left pretty shaken.
There's nobody else here. I'll give you a quick tour. Got a little kitchen area here with great views over the hills. People have left bits and bobs, some soup noodles, I mean, to be honest, I don't really believe a lot of that stuff anyway, so... But it feels like, I know when people walk into it, they kind of go, oh, it feels rough. But it doesn't feel like there's no bad vibe or energy in here. But there's no bad juju or anything. I mean, the only thing that kind of did here last night, well done, absolutely spotless. Hold on a minute. Whoa. Whoa. I'm out. Whoa. I'm out of here. No. No. Explicit even now. I'm not even looking at that. No, I'm not looking at it. It's moving, right? I'm honest, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go. This can't be right. I'm not. What is this? That is moving. Jesus Christ. It is moving, that chair is moving. Just leave it. Come out there.
Was it a haunting or just a hallucination? This unsettling video was filmed by Jesse, a well-known TikToker you might recognize from his channel user .jesse.69. While his content covers a bit of everything, he's especially known for exploring nature, showing off both its beauty and its creepy, mysterious side. Jesse lives somewhere in Virginia, and what started off as a regular evening walk quickly took a terrifying turn when he suddenly heard something.
This looks like a Skinwalker enclosure somewhere. Seen something like this. What the hell? Hello? Is anybody in there?
The video is titled Skinwalker Trying to Lure Me In, but if you listen closely, the audio sounds more like a woman screaming for help. Jesse appears to walk deeper into the woods, but turns back once the crying suddenly stops. Feeling uneasy, he becomes convinced it was a Skinwalker, a legendary shapeshifter known for mimicking human voices to lure people into the wilderness. The comment section was divided. Some agreed with Jesse, saying Skinwalkers are dangerous and leaving was the smart move, while others criticized him for not calling 911 or trying to help in case it was a real person. What actually happened out there is still unknown. Rosalind was on a regular FaceTime call with her boyfriend when something completely unexpected and terrifying happened. In the middle of their conversation, Rosalind's hair suddenly lifted as if something invisible was pulling it. Both she and her boyfriend were stunned. She spun around to see what might have caused it, but no one was there, just silence, and her hair still shifting on its own. She later shared that her late uncle, who used to tease her by playfully tugging her hair when he was alive, might be the reason behind the strange moment. Could it be his way of reaching out from beyond? What do you think? Is it a loving sign from the other side or just a creepy coincidence? This eerie video first appeared on the popular Paranormal Encounters subreddit, posted by a user named Sleet. According to the uploader, the events in the video took place 8 years ago when they worked the night shift as a rehabilitation nurse. Sadly, one of their patients passed away, and after preparing the body for the family's visit and the arrival of the mortuary staff, Sleet found themselves in a mostly empty hallway, especially near the room of the deceased patient. It was late at night, so there were no televisions or any other noises. Everything seemed calm until something truly unsettling shattered the silence. Just as you saw, some strange and creepy voices echoed through the phone, leaving the uploader completely shocked. In their own words, they explain, "The dead woman's call light turns on, so I go down and turn it off. It was hanging on the wall, nowhere near the body. I go back to my station, and the light turns on again. This time, I answered it on the phone so I don't have to go down there. That's when the speaker turns on, and I hear this inner room. Can anyone make out the words? Several viewers think they hear the words birthday and daughter in those strange voices, although the audio is mostly unclear. Still, the clip has left a lot of people feeling uneasy. Could it be a final goodbye from beyond the grave? Or is there a simpler explanation hiding in the static? What do you think is really going on here? Jem, who lives in Florida with her family, started noticing some weird stuff happening at home. She'd often hear strange noises coming from her attic, but she thought it was sealed off, so she had no clue what it could be. Her security camera by the front door would go off with movement, but there was never anything in the footage. That was until one afternoon when she heard loud noises coming from the attic again. When she looked out her front window, what she saw totally freaked her out. You can see a small hand sticking out of the attic at first, but then a much larger hand with long claws shows up, which definitely freaks people out. The homeowner had no idea what it could be, so she called animal services to check it out. When they looked in the attic, they found a mother raccoon taking care of her 6 babies. Some people were happy with that explanation, but others still think the claws were way too big for a raccoon and believe something much larger might be lurking around. This video comes from the popular YouTube channel Aquachigger, where Bo shares a mix of fun content from entertaining animal clips to hobbies like magnet fishing. He's got a real love for the outdoors and often brings viewers along on his adventures. But this video took a much darker turn. On February 11th, 2024, during what was supposed to be a peaceful stealth camping trip in the woods, Bo came across something seriously unsettling.
Those are deer. And the reason I was kind of freaking out is that I saw a blue tarp, out in the woods in front of me. So I went over there kind of investigated because I'm always looking for stuff, looking at stuff. And I found what appeared to be a huge homeless camp. I'm kind of going slow to make sure I don't see anybody in there. You'll notice how I'm dressed in my green and my vest and stuff. Sometimes that gives me a little bit of an advantage when I'm doing this kind of thing because I look like I might be law enforcement and people have a tendency to scatter. So that's why I do this. Well, not the only reason, but that's one of the reasons. Boy, I tell you one thing. I was down the hill there when I was looking at it and it looked like it was huge compared to what it is. It's actually a little bit smaller. I thought that thing was like 3 stories tall. Right now I'm looking for trails where people walk, because if there are people still using this, they would have, the leaves would not be just laying around like that. Look, all the tools for cultivation, I guess. Beanbag. Because especially when it's really cold in the wintertime, sometimes the alcoholics freeze it. That's happened many times around here. There's a footprint there, but it's just one, and that could be kind of old. You can see it's kind of doesn't look very fresh. Looks like they left a bunch of gear right there. There's a duffel bag, army duffel bag or military duffel bag and some stuff. We'll look at that real quick. Makes me wonder, makes me kind of assume anyway, that this is probably a veterans camp. I don't know how many other types of people would read something like that. which is kind of sad. I mean, you shouldn't have veterans living in the woods. Well, anyone shouldn't. No one should be living in the woods. There's a trap. I don't like to see traps set where people aren't checking them. So we're going to spring that one for him. Luckily, something didn't wander in there and get trapped and starved to death. Boy, I tell you one thing. I was down the hill there when I was looking at it, and it looked like it was huge compared to what it is. It's actually a little bit smaller. I thought that thing was like 3 stories tall.
The place looked like someone had left in a rush, belongings scattered around, clear signs that someone had been there recently, but not a single person in sight. Even with the creepy vibe, Bo's curiosity got the better of him, and he decided to take a closer look.
Looks like they left a bunch of gear right there. There's a duffel bag, army duffel bag or military duffel bag and some stuff. We'll look at that real quick. Makes me wonder, makes me kind of assume anyway, that this is probably a veterans camp. I don't know how many other types of people would read something like that, which is kind of sad. I mean, you shouldn't have veterans living in the woods. Well, anyone shouldn't. No one should be living in the woods. There's a trap. I don't like to see traps set where people aren't checking them. So we're going to spring that one for him. Luckily, something didn't wander in there and get trapped and starved to death. I don't like animals to suffer. Yeah, look at that. Look, they're planning on coming back. They had to have stolen that. I mean, why the heck would they have an electric freaking piece of equipment out here? Kind of sad. I hear he got run off. Maybe that's why he has stuff scattered everywhere. But still kind of sad.
Bo chose to leave everything exactly as he found it and quickly packed up his own campsite. The experience was a powerful reminder of the hidden lives people live, far away from society. It left him feeling both thankful for his own life and a bit more cautious about heading into the wilderness alone. A creepy video popped up on the TikTok account Justin_Downey0428, and it's been grabbing attention ever since. According to Justin, his grandma in Ohio was jolted awake one night by something strange that was caught on her Ring camera. A pale, ghost-like figure suddenly appeared out of the darkness, its eerie glow making it clear this wasn't something normal. It quickly darted to the right and disappeared just as fast as it had shown up, leaving only a heavy silence and a bunch of unsettling questions behind. Around 2 a.m., a group of friends was walking through the forest when they came across a railroad track. They heard a train approaching and decided to get some photos and videos. They filmed a few clips, but one of them really freaked them out. One friend was recording the train pulling away when something made him turn around to capture the view behind him. He saw a brief flash of light, but it was so dark he couldn't figure out what it was. Later that night, when he bumped up the brightness on his phone, he was shocked by what he saw. The cameraman catches a dark humanoid figure crossing the railroad tracks. The group was in a secluded area with little lighting, and they felt it was unlikely anyone else would be out there. The figure's details are unclear, but they think it might be something supernatural. Skeptics argue it could just be another person, but regardless, the footage is definitely creepy. Two guys went into an abandoned building, hoping to catch some paranormal stuff on camera, but things got way weirder than they thought. One of them was standing by a door, staring at it like he was soaking up all the bad vibes. Then, out of nowhere, the door tried to slam shut. Later, when he stepped into the room, the door started swinging by itself, and it didn't stop there. Something on the floor, looking like a container, started following him around.
Se volvió a mover la puerta, güey. ¿Oíste? ¿Hay alguien aquí? ¡Oye, madre, güey! ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Hay alguien aquí? ¿Qué es, güey? ¿Qué chido está aquí, va? ¡Ay, madre, güey! ¡Otra vez! ¡Mírame! ¿Lo viste? ¿Quién eres? ¡Uy! Sí, ¿dónde estás? ¿Oíste, güey? ¿Dónde estás? Uy. ¿Hay alguien? Como que se cayó algo, güey. ¿Hay alguien? ¿Qué fue eso? Es ahí un recuerdo que él, güey. Me recuerdo que él. ¿Dónde estás? ¿Cómo, güey? Uy, se volvió a caer, güey. ¿Lo viste? Sí. ¿Hay alguien? No quiso decir nada. Mira, lo metió ahí adentro, güey. ¿Hay alguien ahí? Mira, dio la vuelta, pues, acaba de dar la vuelta. Va a dar la vuelta eso, amigos. Hay alguien aquí con nosotros que se quiera manifestar. Mira, no mames, güey. ¿Quién eres?
What do you think was really going on in there? Share your thoughts in the comments below. A woman shows up super early for her shift in a big, mostly empty building. Since she's the first one in, the place already feels kind of eerie. While she's working on one of the lower floors, she suddenly hears a loud, startling noise coming from the dining area upstairs, which is weird because no one else is supposed to be there. With her heart racing, she grabs her phone and heads up to check it out. Still shaken, she notices something terrifying in the reflection of the elevator's metal walls, a pale, sinister face with dark eyes and a hollow mouth staring back at her. Horrified, she takes a photo, which only deepens her fear. Since that night, she's refused to work early shifts alone, but the questions remain. Who or what followed her into that dark hallway, and why? This building got abandoned after some tenants started a fire in one of the apartments. John, who's investigating the place, had actually been there before, checking out a different apartment. This time, he brought a teddy bear with him, just to mess around a bit. As he started the investigation, he heard some heavy footsteps, like someone was rushing toward him, but there was no one there. Then, the kitchen table started shaking, and the teddy bear moved like it was out of control. Even the electricity almost sparked up like it was going to explode. But John didn't leave.
Кто-то пробежал. Ты можешь со мной поговорить? ПГФ тишина. Кто-то идет. Фух. Так, есть один хлопок. Кто-то попался. Опа. Есть. Второй хлопок. Ух. Опа. Есть. Еще один.
What do you think? Was it just a prank, or is something truly haunting that building? A fan of Jack and Mac shared a story about some of his relatives who visited a cemetery at night and claimed they saw a ghostly girl wandering around. That's all the details they gave. But now, Jack and Mac have gone to check it out for themselves to see if it's really haunted. While they're there, Jack thinks he spots a shadowy figure, and then they both hear a chilling scream in the distance that seriously creeps them out. Not long after, a flower pot randomly falls off a grave, even though there wasn't any wind to explain it. Later on, Jack notices movement inside a mausoleum, and when they review the footage, they catch something so terrifying it really shakes Jack. A gate suddenly slams shut by itself, and just to make things worse, they get a horrifying scream over their walkie-talkie that completely freaks them out.
Venimos solos, completamente solos al cementerio, una exploración que puede ser peligrosa por la hora que es. Pasa una sombra allá. Mira, 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 mira. ¿Viste? Sí, güey. Pasa así por allá. Güey, ¿qué onda, güey? Véanse, la pielcita se me pone. Amigos, venimos porque Hola. ¿Escuchaste? Yo como pasos, güey. ¿Eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Escuchaste eso? ¿Se escuchó como un bote? ¡Hola! ¿Qué fue eso? Parece que fue esa onda, ¿no, güey? A ver. ¿Seguro? Se escuchó más o menos así, ¿eh? Sí, güey, parece que se cayó esa onda. Sí, está cabrón. El pollo está aquí abierto. Voy a prender la lámpara. Uy. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Escuchaste eso? ¿Cómo que se cayó en los palos? Se cayó un palo, un árbol, güey, algo así, güey, ¿no? ¡Hola! Esos unos pasos, güey, son como unos pasos, no, cuidado que no te se caer, güey. ¡Uy! ¡El lamento! ¿Escuchaste? ¿El lamento? ¡Uy, uy, 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 uy! Ay, güey, ¿qué onda con eso, güey? El lamento, güey. ¿Sí lo escuchaste? Sí, güey, como que se cayó algo. Ay, güey. ¿Qué, güey? Creo que vi algo. Vi algo pasar, güey. ¿Dónde, güey? No sé, a ver, ¿ya te amarraste? No sé si fue mi instinto, pero creo que pasó algo allá. Amigos, si miran algo en la cámara, pónganlo en los comentarios. A ver, vamos. Creo que vi pasar algo por allá. ¿Seguro, güey? Sí, güey. Vi como algo pasar, güey. A ver, ten cuidado. Ay, muy intenso, no sé si me está congestionando algo, pero esto se está pasando en el campo.
¿Escuchaste eso? ¿Sí lo escuchaste? Como que se cayó algo. Ay, güey. ¿Escuchaste eso?
Ay, Dios mío. Esto es el final del panteón, güey. ¿Eh? Es el final del panteón. Se escuchó, güey, como... Sigo escuchando el niño ese, güey. Como tipo lamento. Como tipo lamento, güey. ¡Hola! Por acá, güey, por acá. Estoy sintiendo que escucho, güey. ¡Mira, güey! ¡Mira, güey! ¡Mira! ¿Lo grabaste?
Güey.
¿Lo grabaste?
Güey, ¿qué onda, güey? Güey.
¿Grabaste eso?
Sí, güey, sí, vámonos, güey, vámonos.
Ay, la reja se acaba de cerrar, güey.
Dios mío, güey.
La reja se acaba de cerrar, güey. Enfrente de nosotros.
Güey, ¿qué onda, güey?
Uy, atrás. ¿Qué fue eso? A ver. La reja se cerró. Mira. Mira. Mira.
Güey.
¿Veladora? Se acaba de caer la veladora. Mira, graba eso tú. La puerta. Ábrela. Hoy. ¿Qué fue eso? ¿Qué es? A ver. ¿Fue la reja? La reja, mira.
Fue la reja esta, güey.
Fue la reja, güey. Ay, ten cuidado. Fue la reja, güey. Fue la reja.
Güey, tenía rato yo, güey, que no sentía tanto.
¡Uy! ¡Mira el radio, güey! ¡Solo el radio, güey! ¡Uy, güey! ¡Uy!
Vámonos, güey, vámonos.
Se está poniendo, Juan, güey. ¿Qué pedo? ¿Viste eso, güey?
He saw something moving inside the room, and I think they were both stunned by what looked like a ghostly figure showing up. Sometimes chasing ghosts means they start chasing you back. Taryn was on a mountain biking trip in Whitefish, Montana, filming what seemed like a normal day on the trail. The footage starts like any normal outdoor adventure: fresh mountain air, busy trails, and friendly chats with other hikers. But things took a strange turn when they spotted a man alone, wearing a white shirt and glasses, who seemed completely unaware of his surroundings. Despite shouting multiple loud warnings as they got closer, the stranger showed no reaction, not even a flinch. Joking about getting serial killer vibes, Taryn continued biking, unaware that they had just stumbled upon the first clue in a much bigger mystery.
Have been proven very, very wrong. Well, this is one of those times for me. We rented some mountain bikes and headed out to the trail, which was about a mile away. Trailhead was busy. There were all sorts of people out and about. You had hikers, you had bikers, you had people walking with their dogs, people running with their dogs off leash, big groups of people, people walking by themselves, and so on. And when you're on a mountain bike, navigating around them, your eyes are wide open, paying attention to your every move, and often calling out things like, excuse me, or on your left. One of the people that stuck out in our mind was this woman who was walking by herself with her dog off leash. I remember passing her and making a comment like it was a beautiful day, have a good one, and we went along our merry way. I remember being pretty far back in the park when we noticed a man up ahead. He was wearing a white shirt and glasses, walking by himself. We called out to him that we were coming up on his left. He didn't react at all. So we called out again, hey, we're coming up on your left, excuse me, no reaction. Third time, no reaction, which I thought it was odd. Odd enough for me to make a comment, something along the lines of, wow, that guy was creepy, or talk about a serial killer. So naturally, your mind takes note of who and what you saw. Eventually, we got to a point where I thought, if we don't turn around right this moment, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it back to the bike shop. We turned around and headed back. I kind of thought we were going to run into that guy again, but we ended up not seeing him. We did, however, come up on that woman. This time she looked very frantic. She was walking in circles, looking around. She seemed lost, and she didn't have her dog with her, which prompted us to stop. So we asked her, ma'am, are you okay? Are you missing your dog? And she replied, well, I am missing my dog. The dog is with my husband. I'm actually missing my husband. He has dementia and he doesn't have a cell phone on him. We asked her, was he wearing a white shirt and glasses? And she responded, yes. In that moment, I felt two things. One, I felt a lot of guilt because that was the guy with dementia was the guy that I called a serial. But I also felt a very strong responsibility to find this man. Being on bikes, we knew that we could cover a lot more ground in a short amount of time. We asked for her phone number, told her we would keep our eye out and call her as soon as we found him. We got a little lost ourselves on the way back, making a few wrong turns, and you know my legs, the ones that were almost that I couldn't make it back to the bike shop, well, those legs now had superhuman strength. We finally made it back to the trailhead and could not believe our eyes. There, in the same parking lot, standing by himself, surrounded in the same amount of people, was this man wandering around with the dog by his side.
Wow, he's here. Hi, Pat.
We mentioned who we were and that his wife was looking for him, but he didn't quite understand what was going on even after we explained it to him. After about 30 minutes of trying to call his wife, she finally picked up, and it turned out that they had actually parked on an entirely different trailhead, which was about a 30-minute drive from where we were. So we waited there with him, and when his wife pulled up, her face was much different. Her eyes were lit up. You could tell she was very thankful, and I'm sure very relieved that we were able to locate her husband. We stood there and talked for a bit, and I remember her telling me that if we ever made it back to Glacier National Park, we had to hike a trail called Iceberg Lake. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind, that maybe if we go back one day, we'll get to hike that very trail and we'll get to invite her along with us. So it started as a simple adventure, turned into something more. A quiet lesson forever etched in my soul about making quick judgments, hidden struggles, and the power of stepping up when it matters. A beautiful reminder that life's trails are for more than just riding. They're for crossing paths and recognizing.
What started as a simple trail ride became a powerful reminder. Behind every stranger, there's a story we don't know. Destiny Sanchez shared this creepy footage, which her husband filmed while setting up a new Wi-Fi system in their old house, built in 1954. While alone, he noticed something so strange and unexplainable that it gave him chills. As he kept working, the atmosphere grew heavier, and he started recording, expecting something even more unsettling to happen. Out of nowhere, a faint, desperate whisper echoed nearby, begging for help. Spooked, he hurried to finish setting up and later told the homeowner about the creepy whisper. She said her daughter had also heard the same eerie cry. Now, he can't help but wonder if something dark went down in that house, and if the tragic history there could explain the strange cry for help. One evening, a security guard was standing outside a business when he noticed something odd across the street. Not sure if he was imagining things, he asked others around him, and to his shock, a few people claimed they had seen the same thing. They all believed they saw an elderly woman who had mysteriously vanished. One of the group members decided to run across the street to check if there was anything that could explain what they had seen. Luckily, one of the friends kept recording, and what they captured next was truly terrifying.
Walking by, bro, and they just disappeared when they got by the tree. There was a lady walking, and she just disappeared in the sidewalk. What? I know you guys ain't gonna believe me, but somebody walking by. ¿Qué pasó, güey? ¡Oh, güey, mira! Ahí va saliendo. What? Mira. What the hell? Salió de un hoyo, güey, no mames. Mira. Ahí va. What the f? What is that? ¿Qué es eso, güey?
¿Sabes a quién se parece la viejita que camina?
Es la Llorona, güey. No mames. Mira.
As the security guard rushes over, he doesn't spot anything unusual at first, but things take a strange turn when a few cars drive by, revealing a small, hunched, shadowy figure against a brick wall. The footage appears continuous, making it hard to dismiss as a trick. The crowd's reaction shows they were genuinely freaked out. Eventually, the figure slowly moves down the street. Could this be real paranormal activity, or is there another explanation for what happened? This unsettling video was posted on the Ghosts subreddit by a user named NewRaisin5425. He shared that he works in an old building in downtown Phoenix, Arizona, often staying late to finish work. One night, around midnight, he saw something out of the corner of his eye, a quick glimpse that left him feeling uneasy. Unsure if it was just his imagination or something real, he quickly pulled out his phone to start recording, hoping to capture any evidence of what he had seen.
Did you see it?
Suddenly, a distinct shadow appears at the far end of the hallway. Shocked and scared, he fumbles with his phone and accidentally stops the recording. According to the original poster, it didn't make sense for anyone else to be in that part of the building at such a late hour. After sharing the footage on the ER/Ghost community, he wonders if it might be a real paranormal encounter. What do you think? Could it be a ghostly figure roaming the halls, or is there a more ordinary explanation lurking in the late-night shadows? Alonso's checking out this abandoned hotel that's supposedly haunted, with some dark story tied to room 24. But in reality, the place doesn't have much of a backstory. It's just abandoned and believed to be haunted. Doors were slamming, and at one point, the ceiling nearly fell on Alonso's head, with a bucket just sitting there. It almost seemed like the ghost was warning him to leave. But of course, Alonso stuck around, wanting to soak in all the scary vibes.
¿Eres tú la que anda aquí conmigo? Uy. ¿Eres tú?
No quiere hablar, amigos.
¿Eres mujer o eres hombre? Vamos a ver cómo te llamas.
Miren la puerta, miren la puerta, miren. Miren la puerta, miren la puerta, miren la puerta, miren la puerta, se está moviendo.
¿Cómo te llamas? Dime tu nombre.
¡Ay, Dios! ¡Ay, ay, 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 ay! ¡Ay, no manches, cómo me da el teléfono, amigos! ¡Uy! ¡Uy, qué es eso, qué es eso! ¿Qué es eso, qué es eso? No manches. ¿Qué fue eso, amigos?
¿Hay alguien aquí? ¿Hay alguien?
The investigation continues with more eerie moments, and although he managed to escape unharmed, the mystery remains unsolved. Jack posted this video nearly 14 years ago, claiming his attic is haunted. While checking it out one day, he heard something fall. He gathered his courage and stood his ground, but when he turned around, he saw what appeared to be a hairy figure staring back at him.
Like some but I'm gonna go check it out now and see what it is. Switch. What's that? Alright, there's this stuff. Right there. See anything?
What do you think? Was it a ghost or something else lurking in the shadows? The Randonautica app became popular by sending users to random nearby coordinates for spontaneous exploration. Originally meant to encourage outdoor adventures, many users started reporting strange and unsettling events at the locations the app led them to. One evening, a Reddit user named Julia decided to try the app with friends. As the sun set, they entered the coordinates and drove toward their random destination. But things took a terrifying turn when they spotted a figure dressed in dark clothing, standing motionless on the empty road.
It's up here. It's like over there by the light, I think. Like that one.
Put your phone on someone
What?
to see if you see anything to the left.
Let's see. What the f?
Is that? Oh, what the f is that? What is that? Dude?
Oh my god. Go, go, go,
Before they could even react, the masked figure suddenly lunged at their car. The vehicle was filled with screams as the group faced this unexpected horror. When they looked at the slowed down footage, they saw the figure was wearing a shiny metallic mask, hiding their face. This raised some creepy questions. Was this planned through the app? And why didn't Julia just speed past the creepy stranger? On May 13, 2022, paranormal investigator Ricky arrived at the infamous Tri-City Hospital just as the sun set, joined by a local security guard who, despite knowing the hospital's dark past, bravely agreed to accompany him. Ricky ventured inside. What started as a simple exploration quickly turned into a nightmare. The heavy atmosphere and unexplainable events became too overwhelming, forcing them to end the investigation early and rush for the exit.
Flee toward the exit.
It was just an old psych hospital back in, I believe, the 80s. They got shut down due to malpractice suits and lack of funding, so the place has been abandoned. And a couple places have tried to buy it out. One second. Bailey. Basement?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? Do you want to go start at the bottom and then work? All the fun stuff's in the basement.
Okay.
The rest of the hospital is just old
we'll do
patient
the
rooms and stuff like that.
fun stuff first. Let's go.
I'll let you go first. You got the big light.
Yeah, where is it at?
It's just straight
Straight
ahead.
down.
I see a staircase to the ground floor on the right side. Yeah, maybe there's some cool art in here.
Yeah. Damn.
There might be deep puddles. Just be careful. It hasn't rained in a while, so it should be fine.
Just for...
Left is the autopsy room.
Okay. I was gonna say, just for shits and giggles, if you want to just carry this thing around, just to see if it even blinks in here.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What is this?
So basically it measures electronical fixtures, phenomena, anything with electricity, such as like a power cord or anything like that, it should light up. If you press it like that, it will go off, but if it's steady in your hand and it's going off, it's unexplainable. So there's
like that?
Oh yeah, just like that. So there's like a certain current around you right now that's generating power.
Oh, wow.
And that's kind of impossible when there's nothing in front of you.
Yeah, there's also a little globe that appears on a lot of the cameras on the ground floor and around the outside of the hospital. It's this little ball of light, and it's only visible on the cameras.
Oh, really?
It's a little bright white light that just follows. It jumps from camera to camera, and the cameras are like 100 yards apart. Easy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's see. I don't know, Matt. It's loving this staircase right here.
Oh, wow.
These are just old patient rooms that have been demolished by everyone that walks through here. See, I'm not opposed to people coming in here and checking it out. If they want to find a ghost, they can. If they want to do whatever they want, they can, as long as they don't break stuff or graffiti. But then, that's all they do. They can just walk through here and respect the place. Granted, I mean, it's already been up, but...
Yeah, I feel like whatever is in here is following us. Because that's
The old security guard actually quit because of that. He said that that little girl would follow him around and she would throw a ball. She would like roll random objects to play catch with him, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Or to play with him.
How long ago was that?
Yeah, see, there we go.
It's steady.
I'm getting chills.
4.6, 4.8, 5.0. I got a 5 milligal spike, which that would equivalent to kind of like a yellow on yours. god, this is unreal. This is probably like a prank.
There was that blood, it's not, there's a couple pools in there that aren't fake blood. Those ones under that bag, that's not fake blood, it was coagulating, and I actually notified the local police department and they came and checked it out.
Yeah.
Because it was still wet, and then now it's dry. It's just, fake blood doesn't do that. It doesn't coagulate, it doesn't turn brown. It stays bright red like on that skeleton. So that all in there. And see, that's clearly fake blood, but the rest of that, I don't think so.
Have your dogs ever seen anything around here or act weird? Like they seen?
Nothing. They'll bark and I'll always go check it out and there's nothing there. They don't like coming in, they don't like letting me come in here at night either.
Oh, it's like they know and they want to protect you. I'm getting a good solid.
See,
Yeah.
That noise.
Sounds like wheelchairs and stuff. Like squeaks.
It's not a bird, man.
That's movement.
Hear that?
That's walking. I've never seen this many bullets in an abandoned place before.
There's another one over here.
Can you see us here?
He also said that, like, I've had a couple times, me and him both experienced it, where our flashlights, they just stop working. And they're like brand new batteries.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is the exact floors on that right there.
It just turned on. Why are you coming up? What? I said, why are you coming up? I don't know if you got that. Yeah, and it's going in reverse. It's scanning it in reverse. Yeah. The rustling, yeah.
Once it hits midnight, 1 o'clock, that's when the wild. I don't come in here. I have my dog and my...
What the f*** was that?
That's why I have my man. Once it hits midnight, 1 o'clock, that's wild. I don't come in here. I have my dog and my...
What?
I have my dog and my...
Hell no, dude. What the hell? That sounded like a baby. Or like a little... Or like a moan.
sir. No, sir. I want to grab
It's literally 11, like 12 o'clock, like you said. It's wild.
Told you. That's why I have my clock.
Hello?
Don't piss off. Slams doors. I want you to open that door. And once you open that door, it's chaos from there. Yeah, I'm gonna do this through. See? Look.
And we're the only ones in here, dude. There's no one in here. Okay.
I don't want to pick them up. Nothing going on. You gonna open it?
Yeah, I'll open it. What? I saw this door move. Oh! There's no one in there, dude. No way. There's no one in there. There's no one. Nobody in there.
I told you.
I had a...
Every step away from the hospital's eerie halls brought a sense of relief, but the experience left them deeply shaken. Ricky had gone in hoping to find proof of the supernatural, but nothing could have prepared him for the overwhelming fear that gripped him that night. While many questions were left unanswered, one thing was certain: this investigation would stay with them forever. A man started noticing strange happenings around his property. It all began when he saw odd lights hovering over the lake behind his house. Most of the unusual activity seemed to center around the water. To capture any potential evidence, he set up a security camera facing his backyard. When he shared his eerie experiences with friends and family, they weren't very convinced. Determined to prove it, he hoped to catch the lights on camera. Then, one quiet evening, he received a motion detection alert from his camera. After a few moments, a bright light starts to form in the upper left of the camera. The original poster mentioned that this was happening near the lake, which added to the creepiness. Eventually, the light takes shape and seems to become a humanoid figure. Some viewers in the comments speculated it could be an angel or an extraterrestrial being, while skeptics believe it might just be a floodlight. To this day, the man is still unsure about what he captured, and the strange light remains unexplained. One evening, a woman was getting into her car to head home when she parked across from a Roman Catholic church. As she glanced inside, something caught her attention. She had heard rumors growing up that the church was haunted and was the site of satanic rituals when closed to the public, but she never took them seriously, thinking they were just superstitions. However, as she was about to drive away, she saw something in the window that made her reconsider everything she had been told.
What is that, dude? Why is it moving with my phone? Why on earth would it be moving with my phone? It's on my phone. Makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Whoever you are, hello. Welcome to Earth. Welcome to Crazy Town. Just apparently where I live now. Crazy Town.
Just moments in, we can see a faint, translucent shape that looks like a human head. The mysterious figure is seen moving around near the front of the church. Given how late the video was taken, it's clear the church was closed at the time, and since she didn't get close to the doors, it's hard to tell if the figure's body was hidden. Whether it's paranormal or not, the footage is definitely unsettling. Belina moved into a new apartment, only to be shocked by the ghostly activity she had to deal with. She called the real estate office where she bought the place to ask about it. When they answered, she was told that it was natural for things to move on their own, and for her drinks to suddenly disappear. Apparently, the contract she signed had a clause that she agreed to live with ghosts, which she never even read. After that, she called up Mike, an investigator, to check out the situation. The ghosts weren't just moving things around, they were also drinking her soft drinks and shaking stuff like mirrors off the walls. Despite the creepy chaos, Mike kept his cool and didn't let fear take over.
Какие-то звуки. Вот сюда, я думаю, я его повешу. Вот здесь. Да кто ты такой вообще? Вот, на ваших глазах. Кладу шоколадку. Сейчас там 2 дольки. Одну я взял и отложил. Ухожу на 1 минуту. Ай, блядь. Уже зашуршало. Сука. Блять. Он съел.
Next time, she's definitely reading the contract, assuming she ever makes it out of that place. Alex and his friends were sent to check out one of the creepiest abandoned buildings in Mexico. an old office building with a seriously dark past. There used to be a couple who worked there, totally in love and almost got married, until things took a turn. The guy had major jealousy issues, and when he saw his girlfriend with another guy in a photo, he lost it. That led to a tragic ending, and after the incident, the place was shut down for good. Over time, rumors started flying about paranormal stuff happening inside. That's what drew Alex and his crew in. They wanted to see for themselves. As they explored the building, they started hearing soft whispers, almost like a woman's voice, and came across what looked like leftovers from some kind of witchcraft. Things got weird quickly with strange movements and an eerie vibe all around. But it got real when one of Alex's friends had an accident. Something pushed him down the stairs.
Mira, se me hace que faltó un cuarto acá, Lalo. ¿O por este lado que hay, colombiano?
Pues no sé, güey. Nunca había entrado yo aquí.
Aquí por este lado.
¿Qué, güey?
¿Qué pasó?
Sí.
Hay un cristal, güey.
¿Habrá alguien ahí arriba, güey?
Buenas.
¿Estás solo aquí, güey?
Yo sí escuché un lamento ahorita. Creo que yo escucho un quejido, ¿no, güey? Sí, por arriba, ¿eh? A ver. Aquí no trabajo.
Sí se escuchó algo, güey.
¿Escuchaste?
Sí, güey.
Eso fue arriba. Eso fue arriba.
¿Fue arriba? No sé si fue arriba, güey, pues se escuchó para acá, para el patio, güey.
Buenas noches.
Dios. ¿Qué es, güey?
Buenas noches. ¡Ay, güey! ¡No mames! ¿Viste, güey? Se movió la puerta, güey.
Cuidado, güey.
Cuidado, güey.
Lalo, aquí hay veladoras, güey. Güey.
No vayas a tentar eso, güey, es brujería, Acá atrás está bien chulo, cuidado, güey. Mira. Hay veladoras, güey, tierra, güey, esta madre brujería. Vente, salte de aquí.
Ey, Lalo.
Salte de ahí, güey.
¿Sabes qué, güey?
Güey, se movió eso, güey. Güey, píntame el corazón.
¿Sabes qué? Te voy a decir.
¡Ay, cabrón! ¿Alguien aquí, Agua. Buenas.
Lalo, se cayó el vidrio de ese, güey. Se cayó un vidrio, güey. Mira.
Agua ahí.
Cuidado, güey. ¡Hola! Hola. ¿Dónde fue, güey?
Fue atrás de ti, güey.
¿Neta?
Fue atrás de ti, güey, Fue atrás de ti. Y aquí no hay nadie, ¿Qué fue eso, Cholo?
¿Ya estaba eso ahí o no?
¿Qué fue eso?
Colo. No hay nadie aquí, güey. Son agresiones, güey. Son agresiones ya muy. No, vamos a bajarla.
Movieron eso, güey.
Lalo.
Güey, aquí está fuerte.
Güey.
Aquí está muy fuerte.
Lalo, si nos bajamos, güey.
Está muy fuerte esto, Cholo, güey. La neta.
Si no te quieres bajar.
Vamos.
Güey. Me llama la atención eso que se movió ahorita.
¿Qué fue eso? ¿Fue
abajo, güey.
¿Fue abajo?
Abajo se escuchó un lamento, güey. Uy. Por acá, Colo. Por ahí salía, por ahí.
¿Eso fue abajo?
Sí, fue abajo. Dale. Dale, Colo, dale. Rápido. Hola. Cuidado, güey. Buenas. Agua, cuidado, cuidado. ¡Halo! Cabrón, no, Lalo. Cuidado. Espérame. Ahora te ayudo, espérame, déjate ayudo.
As panic set in, the group scrambled to get out, hearts pounding, every shadow now a threat. Once outside, shaken and breathless, they realized they'd gotten more than they bargained for. Whatever haunted that building wasn't just a story, it was real, and it didn't want them there. Diego, Henrik, Helio, and Wellington, this crew of investigators, headed deep into the woods to check out the creepy legend behind the infamous House of Evil known as Sarah's house. As soon as they stepped into the place, it was like the house wanted them out. A wooden board came flying at them from the left. Right before that, a glass bottle had rolled out from another room like a bad omen. And while they were still trying to figure out what was going on, the door behind them slammed shut, but it didn't stop there. More random stuff got tossed at them later. Things got so nuts that one of the guys actually passed out.
Que foi isso, velho? Cara, essa porta tava encostada aqui, ó. Ela tava encostada. Ai! Cara do céu! Pegou você? Machucou? Não. Machucou? Não.
Rapaz, passou suando na orelha.
Cara do céu! Espírito ou a entidade, se comunique comigo. Fica pra dentro. O que foi isso?
Não sei, veio da cozinha ali.
Você poderia se comunicar comigo? Você poderia se comunicar comigo? Você está incomodado com a nossa presença aqui na sua casa? Posso fazer? Fazer o quê? Cara do céu!
Meu Deus.
Posso fazer isso?
Isso não é bom, a gente tem que ficar de frente pra porta.
Cuidado, Thiago.
Olha como que eu tô arrepiado, cara. Olha aqui.
Meu Deus, velho.
Já essa garrafa aí de novo.
Cuidado, Henrique.
Faz assim.
Que foi, Wellington? Que foi, Wellington? Wellington, o que foi, cara? O que aconteceu, cara?
Eu não sei nada, tá olhando ali, amigão.
Bate na cara dele, bate na cara dele.
Peraí. Esse cara tá aqui, rapaz. Wellington, ei.
Wellington.
Mas ele desmaiou, tio.
Wellington, vamos tirar ele da casa,
Vamos tirar. Pega aí.
Meu Deus do céu, cara.
Cara, se eu tivesse aqui, ele tivesse borrachado no chão, cara.
Tira ele, depois pega as coisas.
Bora. Não pode enxergar aí. Bate o braço ali. Cuidado aí.
Ai, meu Deus do céu.
Ai, cuidado.
A gente estamos saindo.
Vai sair, Tiago, agora, cara. Eita.
Jesus amado.
Agora aí, cara, pra você descer aí.
Não, vai ter que dar um jeito, cara.
Bota ele. Vai descer aí, bota ele aí sentado aí. Aí.
Vambora, Henrique, vambora.
Bora.
Cara do céu, o que você viu, Wellington? Hã?
Ele não tá bem não, Tiago. Não tá bem não.
Você quer ir pro médico? Vambora.
Vai, cara. Cuidado aí, Tiago. Cuidado aí. Vamos descer aí.
Deixa ele dormir não, cara. Deixa ele dormir não.
Sente.
Ele bateu a cabeça?
Não chegou a bater não, cara. Segurei, cara.
Wellington, acorda, velho.
At first, it was just curiosity, but after everything that happened, they left with more questions than answers. An Asian investigator was checking out a theater-like building when a creepy person began watching him from afar. As he continued, the creep started following him, which scared the investigator. He took refuge in a room and locked the door, but the creep approached the glass and began knocking. After a moment, the investigator regained his courage, picked up a wooden stick, and rushed at the creep. The situation flipped. The creep ended up fleeing.
操你妈呀！哎哎哎！然后他不想让我拍到，是不是？我觉得他是这样子。啊！我操！那个对不起啊！我傻笑啊！那我超伟大了，科技他会攻击人了，他会来追我了！啊！我操！他怎么在前面？他怎么在前面了？我靠背了！当然，对不起，对不起，对不起，对不起，慢点，慢点！啊！我靠！我靠背！啊啊啊啊啊！我靠！啊！哎，我拍影片而已啦！哎，哥姐不要笑了啦，我笑到喷泪。喂！啊！我操！他要来追我了！我靠腰啊！怎么办呢？哥姐他要来追我，他怎么在后面呢？我靠腰啊！我靠背啊！我操你大爷！我多想进躲避进，躲避进，躲避进，躲避进。哎，来呀！来呀！来呀！来呀！来呀！干你娘！别跑！别跑！操你妈的，在跑啊！妈的，跑一圈，操你大半干我也跑一圈，操你妈！你在跑啊！你在跑啊！在跑啊！操你大，好啊，没关系，操你大呀
！Whatever that thing was, it didn't expect him to fight back. The 200-year-old doll, known as Let Me Out, is believed to be haunted and has scared many who've come near it. Carrie Walton found it in an old abandoned house and kept it for 40 years. A documentary claimed the doll caused strange events. A psychic named Keisha said the doll holds emotions like sadness and anger, possibly linked to a drowned child. When shown in public, its appearance disturbed people so much that some fainted.
More than 20 years ago, Kerry Walton found a doll under an abandoned home in southwest New South Wales. The house was said to be haunted, but that didn't worry Kerry at the time. However, as time passed, the doll started to take on a personality of its own. Kerry Walton began to feel himself falling under the spell of the grotesque doll, rumoured to have been made by wandering gypsies. From the dark and mystical days of Eastern Europe 200 years ago to the 20th century in Brisbane, Australia, a menacing gypsy doll, meticulously carved with every attention to every detail. The piercing eyes that somehow seemed to see all. The wig plaited from real human hair. But was this effigy crafted with love, hate, or sorrow? This doll, some say, is possessed by the devil.
Yeah, I was petrified, you know. The night I got home, I left him in the lounge room, and halfway through the night I had to go and put him back in his bag and put him under the house.
Possibly possessed by the dead. And maybe, just maybe, very much alive. Let's go back just a fragment in time, to more than 20 years ago, to a deserted farmhouse in an Australian country town. Local legend has it the house is haunted, but 23-year-old Kerry Walton is bolstered by a youthful enthusiasm that overrides his fear.
And I was sort of under the house and with a torch, you know, still a bit frightened about going under there. And I shined the torch on this fella. And I thought it was a little kid, you know, and I bumped my head in the head, on the joist. And then when I went over and had a closer look, there he was.
Driving home with the doll that night, Kerry began to have second thoughts about this piece of buried treasure he'd uncovered in that old haunted house.
When it was dark, every time a car went past, it looked like the doll was moving. I don't know if it was the lights, but that's what I put it down to.
That was the beginning. Who knows where it will all end? For more than 2 decades, Kerry Walton and his family have lived with this bizarre and mystifying relic from a bygone age. An age of witches, potions, and gypsy curses. Some swear its eyes change colour. Others are certain the doll moves unaided.
Has he affected other people the same way?
Oh, lots of people. How many people like him?
Kerry's family weren't the only ones to sense something strange in the doll. Randolph, the family dog, attacked it on sight.
That film was shot more than 10 years ago. This is what happened when we taped a similar scene with a different dog just recently. A simple case of provocation. Natural canine fear. Not so, says Kerry Walton.
All dogs that's ever come in contact with this doll has tried to bite him.
When Kerry and his family decided they had to part with the doll, they were desperately in need of money, and they'd been offered $400 by a local shopkeeper. Kerry had sealed the deal by phone and was delivering the doll to the new owner. A voyage via science and seance that would provide some answers and pose new questions about the doll's ancestry.
I took it to the Australian Museum in Sydney, and they went over him and they had a look at the nails on the bottom of his soles here, and that's how they dated him, about 200 years old.
200 years old. Handmade, probably from somewhere in Eastern Europe. That was the scientific explanation. But who was the woodcarver, and what were his motives? First, an American psychic offered to try to unlock this secret from the doll's past.
The guy that made this doll made it in remembrance of his son that was drowned.
Then came a second psychic in Kerry's hometown of Brisbane in Queensland. Keisha became fascinated with the doll, its history, and the American psychic's theory. She organized her own seance and says she traveled back in time to a tragedy in Europe. A tragedy Keisha felt was still present in the doll today.
He was sad, certainly sad. There is some sadness there, but sadness because, as we came up with, the drowning of a child somewhere. So that kind of sadness. So sometimes the doll becomes a child in broad daylight in the shopping center, thousands of people walking around. I told the story of the doll, pulled the lever, the curtains pulled back, women screamed, one woman passed out, somebody else threw up. Now you tell me, those people, at night time, yes, I've sat in ghost houses, I've stayed there all night, and I know that that night itself has an effect, but not in broad daylight, in a shopping center with lots of noise. Those people were really scared, and the reason for that, he didn't like being there. He didn't like being made an exhibition, if you like. He didn't like that.
Keisha seems to communicate with the doll, seems to have some kind of rapport with him. But off-screen, before the cameras started rolling...
And we sat him on my lap because we were trying to figure out what was the best shot. And the doll wriggled. That was the first time, my first encounter with him. When he wriggled in my lap, just like a child wriggles to get settled in a mother's lap. So he wriggled, And of course I was terrified, and I said, this doll is wriggling, and the guy said, oh, come on, you know. And then when one of the guys said, oh, come on, this is impossible, the doll, we would swear, turned its head. It creaked, the neck creaked, looked at the cameraman.
Well, more than 10 years after that first television encounter with Keisha, just the other day, in fact, we were taping with Kerry Walton and the doll. We just got to the part where Kerry tried to sell him, and...
So I put an ad in the paper for him only for $400. He lost a light.
Another exploding light bulb. Just a coincidence? Keisha has other ideas.
Well, I think it's because he was saying, oh, here we go again. These are these cameras, they're going to ridicule me. A memory. You and I have memories. Why shouldn't he? He's a real person. His energy is real. He has the energy of someone trapped.
Would you dare keep something that might be carrying the emotions of a lost soul? Have you ever heard of a Disneyland knockoff? Back in 1988, a park called Reno, Mexico was built in Mexico as a cheap imitation of Disneyland. It was poorly made, small in size, and quickly became infamous after multiple accidents occurred, some reportedly fatal. Eventually, the park was shut down and abandoned. Years later, rumors of paranormal activity began to spread. 2 investigators entered the abandoned park to see if the stories were true, and were shocked when one of the Prince statues appeared to move on its own.
Tengo una lamparota super expanded. Ah, bueno, tú tienes tu luz. ¿Sí?
Güey, ese es el velador de...
Es el velador, ¿no? ¡Velador! ¡Ey! ¡Velador!
Aguanta, espérate, ey. Shh, no te muevas. No mames, no te muevas ahí. Güey.
¿Velador?
Ese no es el velador, güey.
Güey, no es el velador.
No. No, aguanta. Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, Deja que mi cámara enfoque bien, güey. Eso no es el velador. No digas perras mamadas, güey. Perdón. ¡Ey! Se me cayó algo, güey. ¿Qué se me cayó? A la verga. Sentí que se me cayó mi cartera, pero no. ¡Hola! No digas cosas. No. Güey, ¿fue aquí? No digas mamadas, güey. Buenas, velador. No mames. Esta madre no pudo haber salido, está con reja. Está con reja, güey. No digas mamadas, güey. No digas mamadas, Joe. Mire. No digas mamadas, güey. No, Joe. No. No, güey, no mames.
¿Qué fue eso, güey?
No sé.
No mames, güey. No mames.
¿Crees que haya sido ella?
Güey, nos estamos metiendo más adentro. Banda, comparte.
No mames, güey, no mames.
Parece que tus ojos te miran, ¿verdad?
Pareciera, pero no creo, güey. Güey, es que qué pedo, güey. Hola. Tú te moviste. Tú fuiste la que se movió. ¿Es así? No mames, güey. ¿Tú fuiste la que se movió, mujer? A ver, güey. Güey, es que era el vestido también así, güey.
¿Verdad?
Amarillo.
Yo pensé que era el velador, te lo juro, hermano.
Yo también, güey.
¿Cómo que me detuviste?
No, güey, no era el velador, mira. Blancanieves.
Blancanieves.
Ay, güey, dime que no era cierto, güey. No mames, güey.
Qué miedo.
Miren. Pero es que, güey, no creo que haya sido ella, güey, mira. Porque no se puede ni sostener esto, güey. Mira, y aparte está muy rompido todo, mira.
Sí, no, o sea, está hecha de fibra de
No mames, güey.
Ella no se puede mover.
Sería ella.
No tiene brazo, además.
Güey, porque yo no miro a nadie más, güey.
Está adentro, ¿verdad?
Buenas.
Buenas.
Yo no miro nada, Buenas noches.
Buenas noches, ¿hay alguien ahí? Te dije que adentro nos miraron desde arriba. Se vio una cara.
Hola. Vamos para allá. A no ser que le tengas que decir al vigilante que abra.
Solamente sería la manera. Como venimos con permiso, bueno, estamos con todo el respeto para no romper nada ni... ¿Escuchaste?
Hola.
Hola. Es adentro.
Sí, pues es adentro. ¿Hay alguien ahí? Buena. No mames. Verga, perdón. ¿Qué fue eso, güey?
No sé.
Güey, sentí mi mano que me la jalaban para allá.
¿Neta?
Sí, güey.
No mames. Ten cuidado. Vas a perder. No, y están en los cristales, es peligroso.
It seemed like the ghost was drawn to that place. Or maybe it was all just a hoax. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can stay updated with our latest videos.